Hi diddly ho there, gamers. You guys remember this bit from my Data.org battle ranking?
Yozora is just the hardest, and he's meant to be that way, at least at first. See, unlike something like Lingering Will, no, I won't stop shit-talking this asshat, he sucks, and you all have blinders on because of nostalgia.
Well, one viewer of mine, called Daniel Tensky, KH vs FF, came out of the woodworks and asked me a simple question. Can you make a video on why Yozora is better than Lingering Will? And to that I say, yes. Yes, I can. Also, go give him love. His channel is small and good and needs eyes on it. Anyway, on with the show.
Hey, wait!
One thing the KH series is known for are super bosses that are super duper kill me now kinda hard, and the Lingering Will is the poster boy of the franchise, Kingdom Hearts 2. See, where most other super bosses are hints towards a future game in the series, or have something really annoying about them that makes them annoying to the fandom, when in reality they're just poorly designed and can be exploited pretty easily. Some of the most infamous are the enigmatic man from KH1 and the mysterious figure from Birth by Sleep, and the reason for that is that they are not balanced around the tools you have. KH1 combat is very slow and methodical with a lot of downtime in between you and the fight, and the fucking mysterious figure just needs to calm down. Both of these guys are fine, but if they attacked like 25% less and the mysterious figure didn't steal your commands half the time, they'd be a lot better. Kurt Ziza and something like Wargoyle get their respective fights right because while they are hard, they at least give you tools to work with in those encounters. For instance, Kurt gives you MP balls when you hit him in his dome phase so that you can still progress the fight and not get stuck because you didn't have enough ethers. And then you just have to sit there while the boss does chip damage for giggles, Phantom. And Wargoyle is weak to blizzard and water, which if you bring a Dream Eater that specializes in that, the limits you can do as Sora bring him down a peg or two. I'm laying all this out because there's this disparity between the community that's come up. That being that nothing can top this one fight because it's so perfect and wonderful and no really guys, it's so cool, oh my god, look Mon, no damage! But I honestly think that comes with nostalgia goggles super glued to your eyeballs. See, there's a fine line you have to walk while making any boss in any game, but when it comes to super bosses, there needs to be extra care taken, and here they fucked it up royally. Okay, well maybe not that bad, I mean we're not talking like DDD Julius or anything, but honestly they fucked Terra harder than Xehanort ever did in Birth by Sleep. Sephiroth in both games is a better set of bonus bosses because they understand the challenge old Sephi brings, but didn't make him invincible for 90% of the fight. So let's talk logistics, shall we? The Lingering Will is the super boss found once a completed save file of Kingdom Hearts 2 is registered. You boot up the game, hop on the gummy ship, and you are immediately told about the strange portal in Disney Castle. Once inside said portal, you are taken to what we now know as the Keyblade Graveyard, and you are treated to what many consider to be the best fight in the franchise. In this fight, you are put on the defensive and must learn the patterns of the boss and get in at just the right time to get around his attacks and deal damage to him, when also knowing when to leave because this fucker has hard-coded phase transition that will insta-kill you if you're not paying attention. When he isn't being comboed high in the air for seconds on end, before he just decides to break out of it for no reason, he's constantly attacking you with no real break besides the 3 picoseconds between each attack, except for that damn light cycle because he can get into that stupid whip, or another bike loop, or his light beam, or his ult, or his bow that has that shock attack that will just kill you on its own. Oh, also you just have to dodge for the first 3 seconds of the fight, otherwise he might catch you in a grab, or the Cthulhu summoning circle that either locks your magic or your physical combos till you get rid of this small health bar that doesn't affect his regular health bar that can, again, kill you on its own. Or just anything and everything I've listed above can do that as well, not even giving you a chance to move, and this guy is already trying to kill you. Now, can you see the problem with this? If you can't, think on it, because we're gonna come back to it in just a minute. If we jump forward to KH3 Remind, the method of getting to that super boss is a little different. See, whereas Terra was able to be gotten once the base game was done, Yozora had a much more complicated way of doing things. In order to fight Noctis's Riku cosplay, you must beat the base game, then the Remind DLC, and the limit cut Data.org fights. Now, granted, that isn't too taxing of a job, but it is still a lot more than past games are required. Besides Birth by Sleep, you had to do the entire Mirage Arena, and that was just so fucking hard. I do, however, get it from a gameplay standpoint, since this is the ultimate challenge in the game, and thus having it come after the whole rest of the game, and you can just select it whenever you want if you have a cleared limit cut save file on your system. So there is a checks and balances system here, you're not completely going in blind. So here's a big jump in quality in this fight compared to Terra. Yozora starts his fight, A, further away from you than Terra, and B, with an attack that does not stun lock you or keep you from moving. Sure, you do that taking damage animation, but it doesn't completely fuck with you dealing with the fight. The attacks you can do are too numerous to count, but I'll list the ones that come to mind. The lasers that come in bursts, the slow-moving laser, the lasers with clone attacks, the clone attacks themselves, the teleporting sword, the pyramid trap, the keyblade grabber, the item sucker, the damage ball, and his ult, which itself has like 7 or 8 things in it that are all separate and not part of the same combo. Fuck, I hate this gear-shifting tinker toy. However, while Yozora has all of those attacks, do you know what the best thing about this fight is? He takes damage. Like a lot. Yozora probably has the biggest health bar in the game and takes enough damage that it feels like you're making progress when you can get in there. You guys remember that problem I wanted you to hold on to and think about? Well, here's your answer. Terra takes no damage and is completely invulnerable during any and all of his attacks. You see, there are a lot of things that can kill a boss's enjoyability, but that right there is the cardinal sin. If you cannot work in chip damage on a boss out of their allotted stick dick in here daddy phase, then you have fucked up on 2 levels. One, that is bullshit and is annoying as fuck when the bosses have all the health bars. Seriously, that is such shit. And 2, there is no build up for this fight with anything remotely similar in that level of complexity or invulnerability. Bosses like Data or Xemnas are still able to take damage while you're doing other things like mashing triangle for dear life, but you are still able to damage him. Not a lot, but it's still a thing. Marluxia also does this. He has these 3 big pools of death juice on the floor that will kill you if you're not careful, but if you get an air combo going on him above the puddles, you'll be able to wreck him a little bit. His DM and Remind is still bullshit. By God, do I still hate that. But we're not here for that. We're here for these 2. Well, and for Aqua. Oh yeah, y'all thought I wasn't gonna bring up Zodiac Aqua? Then you were sorely fucking mistaken. Zodiac Aqua is one of the single best ideas for a super boss in the series. Why? Because she is set up so well. There are 3 short mini fights that lead up to this one that all teach you different aspects of the fight. One with base attacks, one with magic and teleports, and one with those red tinted attacks that you cannot dodge, something Terra would ironically steal later. Zodiac Aqua is harder than she has any right to be, but seeing as the game knows you have to fight her 3 times at this point to even beat the game, she still gets to keep her title as Queen of the Super Bosses. Yozora is a better fight, but is so damn hard with no real prior fight that allows us to learn him that it becomes more frustrating and annoying. Yozora and Aqua both have easy ways to get their health down. You can block and dodge and thunder them out of their attacks. The window on this for certain attacks is very, very small, so you still have to learn the fight. Terra simply does not do this. There are no 2 ways about it. You must understand everything about the fight and basically memorize the fight and the openings to even get a chance to poke at him with your key. I'm sorry, but I just find that worse than if you hadn't given him super armor. Now, giving bosses heightened armor during their attacks is perfect, but them taking damage to say a spell or a stray combo or even a summon would be a nice benefit rather than just spam dodging attacks then hitting him until he breaks out of it, because if you stop before that, the next time you touch him, he's just gonna break out of it anyway. It's a bad sign when people are willing to loop his ultimates, you know, the hardest thing in his arsenal, the best attack he's got, for a more enjoyable experience, because the method of getting around it is to glide to the 3rd phase, at which point just get to the edge of the cliff and just land the dodge roll timing and then either repeat the whole thing or hit him until he breaks out of it or dies. That's not good boss design. If Terra actually swung his Keyblade and had more similar attacks to yours, or even his base self in Birth by Sleep, then the fight might have lived up to the actual good fights in the series. Even keeping this to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Super Bosses, there were at least 3 better fights that come to mind. Axel, because it was designed as the tutorial boss and is actually one of the few fights that punishes you for mashing X because the stupid flame pillars damage you if you touch them, which will happen if you try to combo him to death, with no real break to reposition yourself. The second would be Demix, because while he's the same as his base game counterpart, his last Dance Water Dance is a fine, albeit annoying, hurdle to finish the boss that was designed around you paying attention to the fight and the twist of needing to cast Blizzard on the water clones rather than just hitting them is fucking fine by me. And of course, the real MVP of KH2 Super Bosses is Data Roxas. Data Roxas is honestly the best mix of what I've been talking about, because not only does he have a pretty challenging storyline boss that you can honestly beat and then go challenge the Data fight directly after, but you also get a taste of his power when you, as Roxas, battle Axel. Not to mention the fact that he has the best moveset out of any of the bosses in the series, bar none. There's no gimmicks, there's no armor bars, there's no invincibility, it's just you and your nobody fighting for dominance in your heart, and it is beautiful. See, where Zodiac Aqua had unblockable attacks that could just pass through your barrier, and Yozora could steal your weapon, they were at least learnable. Lingering Will is learnable, but there's almost no room for error, and that's if you're playing on level 99. If you're anything less than that, and you haven't beaten the Data Org members, then you better get used to seeing this nifty death screen, because ooh boy, is it sure pretty, isn't it? Just look at him. all floating there. The thing that frustrates me about the Lingering Will is the nostalgia behind him. See, where most people played KH2 as a kid, they didn't get to meet Terra until 2013. Well, yes, only being 7 years ago, it's still far back enough in people's lives to hit the nostalgic level for them. For me, it's been about 3 years, and I honestly thought he was fine based around the hype. However, once I got to him, it was clear what they all meant. He's impossibly hard and punishes you for trying, which is what a lot of people want in their super bosses. I, however, do not. I get enough mental beatings from the world around me as it is. Getting my dick slammed in by this wannabe sadist is just annoying. However, I do get the appeal around beating him. I've done it at least 3 times, once on Proud, once on Standard, and once on Critical to unlock the secret ending. So yes, I do understand the masochistic joy that comes from conquering over your abuser. The problem is, the fight itself isn't fun. The fact it's over is. These other fights are fun. I look forward to trying to find more ways to get in more damage or even attempt to damage this run. Or fuck, just get through all of them on crits. You know, that'd be nice. Yozora is a fight I can learn pretty quickly, and who only took me like 2 hours to learn and beat rather than Terra's 5. The reason Yozora is Lingering Will done right is because he's more reliably damaged. Not that he's easier, mind you, he certainly isn't given all his moves, how much he teleports, and the size of the arena, but he's still better because I always feel like I can win. Terra gives me a headache when I play against him. That's not a good thing by any stretch of the imagination. Zodiac Aqua sits in the middle of these two, because she is harder than Yozora, but she's not frustrating. Just a bit tedious to deal with. And to all of you Lingering Will fans who got all pissy I bashed your favorite Dungeon Master, let me make this clear. I get why you like it, but mechanically and quite frankly, literally, when a boss reminds me of playing a Soulsborne game, you done fucked up. Because all of those games share the problems I listed above. And he is the sole black throbbing mark on an otherwise perfect game. The one good thing Lingering Will brought to the table was Keyblade form changes and my sexy fuck me daddy hammer. God, that never gets old. Yozora doesn't come from a perfect game. While I love Kingdom Hearts 3 to death and will defend it till I'm blue in the face, you cannot deny that he, and to a lesser extent Zodiac Aqua, elevate this game's combat and difficulty in the right way. My name is Chris, and hey, at least in KH3 you don't have to reflect to cheese the fight. And seriously, that spell just hard nerfed any fight, and you can no-clip through his attacks just so that when the reprisal kicks in, he's already being comboed by the spell. That is so helpful, but so fucking broken. God, this fight is trash.